Hi, it's Jane. It is Jane, and it's day 32 of 40 days, exploring tenderness and unconditional love. Many interesting details about today. I finally didn't eat food today. I've been kind of meaning to go to just liquids for about a week, but I was really listening to my body and I was eating very light, kind of like an apple or half avocado or something. So it felt fine. But then, like yesterday, I was just like so hungry inside and I think restless. So I ended up eating like a bunch of nuts and anyway, yeah, today it was nice because it wasn't like I tried to not eat. It just felt like, oh, I just realized, oh, I just had liquids today, mostly just water. So, um, yeah, it's really nice to be going like that, moment by moment, day by day, instead of feeling like, uh, yeah, I'm forcing myself to do something out of willpower. Um, After the way I was eating, like yesterday and stuff, I didn't think I would naturally want to go to liquids. In fact, I almost felt like I wanted to eat more and more. Like as the days go on, instead of um, getting used to this, I feel like I'm just um, wanting to eat more. And so I was thinking, wow, at this rate, I'm not going to just naturally want to just go to liquids. I thought I was going to have to force myself or just give up on the idea. So yeah, it's nice that it just kind of happened. Yeah, more evidence that I can kind of trust myself. Um, and so I was in bed for a long time. I was awake, but this morning I just my body was going through some stuff, and I just said to stay still. And I had an experience where this divine masculine energy came into my hands, and I was like, it didn't feel sexual to me though. It didn't feel erotic, and I was kind of like, why are you in my hands if we're not gonna go there? I mean, what? Because that's kind of what I felt like I was working on, kind of being comfortable with my sexuality. And then I realized it was guiding me to like just touch my skin. And it was very soft and it felt very caring. And I realized my hands have never moved on my body like that. I mean, I've had moments where, like, as a practice, like a tantric practice, or because I know it's good for me, like, I've tried to, like, like do things like stroke my arm or like give myself hugs. But that's it. And it's very short lived, and I've never been able to, like, do it as a practice. But this time, it really, like, I really, like, felt the softness of my skin, and it felt, yeah, like the way it feels when someone else is doing it. And then I felt really kind of nice afterwards, like, and I it made me realize like how little I'm touched, and I don't want to be like paying for massages all the time just because I know it's important to be touched. So it was nice, and then I received a really special message from a friend who reminded me that I'm that my sharing and that my expression has some value to someone outside of me, and yeah, that was a really nice, just it wasn't just a nice surprise. It felt very important to me. But then later in the day, I was in a circumstance where I felt unseen. I felt very unappreciated and unseen. And I was observing myself while it was happening. And I was kind of like, gosh, what's wrong with you? Like, you just get this beautiful email. And I mean, not just that, like, every day is so beautiful and so much to be grateful for. And you're still like, oh, I feel unappreciated. It just seems so petty and like I was kind of just like such little evolution, you know? But then I realized, so I just practiced, you know, and I allowed myself to feel the disappointment, and then I realized, you know, every time that comes up, it's not because nothing's like I'm not evolving or I'm so fucked up. It's because there's just that much pain that has been in my body. There's that many instances where I felt that way in the past, that these new situations are helping me to see and to integrate. And when looked at that way, it was like two perfect gifts, like this gift of someone um, helping me remember the truth, and this equally beautiful gift of someone helping me um, dissolve or embrace what was never true, but that still lives inside me and is hidden unless it's brought to light by these outer circumstances. So, yeah. And then I went to, so there's this place called the Meditation Museum. Kind of an interesting phrase, right? And it's like right on the, I pass it when I drive a lot, and it's in this like kind of city center, but not like a cool city center. It's like in the, almost like, it feels like a strip mall or, so I always noticed it. Like, is that sign even, is it an old sign, or because it doesn't, it's like, feels like it's like near dry cleaners, and it just doesn't fit that setting. And but of course I was attracted to the idea because I mean, a meditation museum, it's like, to me that's like, oh, that's what an interesting way to combine a art term with awareness, right? So anyway, I looked them up one day after passing this for like a, you know, months, in back in January, and they were having a like a workshop or something. So I went, and it was really beautiful. Like, it felt, the energy felt really great. I really appreciated the director of the center. I loved her energy, and it felt like, oh, you know, this is perfect. This is somewhere I could, like, you know, build a community in or be part of, and I could maybe speak here and connect to people here for my work too. But when I talked to like the volunteer that was there, I felt a little bit like it was a closed system. Like, they practice a certain form of meditation, and I thought, oh, maybe everything's geared towards kind of promoting that. And I checked in with myself, and I thought maybe I could learn it. I mean, I am open to different forms of meditation, but it just, I'm really not in a place right now where I want to learn another technique. I really just want to like do my own thing. So I so I kind of let it go. But then later that morning, that day that I was there, Michael Beckwith, you know, the leader of Agape, he walked in, and he's friends with the director. And and that morning I had been talking to a spiritual teacher that I work with, and she's quite close with Michael Beckwith. So it was just, you know, that feeling of synchronicity, like, so kind of stayed in my mind, but I didn't pursue creating a connection there because of, I felt like they were focused on their own. It was like kind of an inside thing. And then, but the other day after I had that meetup group where I did the painting and the dragon came out, the man, one of the people that was at the meetup, he brought up the meditation museum and said, you know, have you, for some reason I'm being like called to tell you about that. Have you been there? And I said, yes. And I told him the story, and he said, no, they're actually open to people that are outside of their kind of technique, you know. They're always, because they want to, you know, grow their community. And so since that was the second time I heard it, I felt like, okay, it's time for me to go back. But so this morning I was guided to go there today. And and I was kind of like, felt like, oh, what do I need to prepare? Like, some kind of, like, what's my intention? Like, to try to uh, kind of have an opportunity to speak or lead or kind of promote myself. And I just kept getting the message like, no, don't prepare, just go. So I look online to see if there's any events happening today, and there's nothing happening. So I was just thinking, well, what am I going to do? Just go there, and I'm not going to meditate. I'm not going for an event, and I have nothing particular to say to you. I'm just going to show up. But the guidance said yes. So I show up there, and the woman that I was hoping to speak to isn't even there. And there's like, two people there, and I just introduced myself, and I asked if about a women's circle that I was interested in. They already hold a women's circle, so I thought, oh, that I definitely want to check that out. And so the man tells me, yeah, the next one isn't scheduled yet. That's why you didn't see anything online. And then I'm about to leave, but something. Oh yes, one of the people just kind of asks me what I do, and then we start talking, and all of this synchronicity came about, and it was just really gratifying because after when I was wondering like shouldn't I prepare something if in case I meet this woman, and when I was getting a no on that, I really checked in. Okay, then what's my intention? And well, like what do I desire? And if I'm not going to try to get something, right? What do I really desire? And it was like, oh, what I always desire, like a discovery that feels good, having like connections that are revealing and inspiring. That's what life is to me. It's just like a series of like beautiful moments that I want to experience that surprise me and delight me. And that happened. So start talking to this person, we have all this synchronicity, and then I was about to go to this Indian dance class, which it turns out my teacher, she was the first person that this meditation museum ever invited as a speaker, as a guest. And the director of this meditation museum, it's like a very kind of set up thing. Like they have a history and a lineage, and she's been on Oprah and has met with the president, so it was yeah, just unexpected connections. So anyway, they're quite good friends with the Indian dance teacher, and after my visit at the meditation museum, I was going to dance class. So anyway, I'm like, okay, I have time before my dance class, so I wanted to take a walk outside, and so the other person that was there was like, let's walk together. And so we're walking around this community just right by the museum, and I said it's a kind of a city type, an urban area. And then we find this path like next to someone's house, and there's like a flowering tree, a pink flowering tree at the entrance. I mean, at the front of this path, and then we walk, and it's like this beautiful. I felt like I was in a fairy tale. There were like little yellow flowers, and it was so green, and there was a creek, and then it opened up, and it was this huge trail. Like it was actually an established trail. All these people were running and biking, but I loved the way that we came in was in this way that it looked like this, like a secret path. Okay, I'm going to continue this later.